Hey there, and welcome back. Alright, first note is, for anybody who was watching this video thinking that it's going to help teach them things ahead of time in the CDT for the New Mexico portion, I unfortunately have to tell you, I didn't finish it. This is a lessons learned video. I can only give you information on what I learned and what went wrong for me, but I do hope that it helps you somewhat in your planning, if you are watching this in hopes to help your CDT trip. But this is more, I made an attempt at something awesome and it fell apart. Things were out of my control. But yeah. So the beginning part of this video is going to start like any of my other videos. It's going to be as if I'm on an adventure and you're going to get to watch what happened. And then we'll come back, circle back, and we'll talk about the things that I learned. Yeah. Hope you enjoy it. All right. Say goodbye to the floofs. That's probably one of the harder parts of this. Being away from the pets. Done it for longer with tour. But it's still nerve-wracking. Still nerve-wracking. My anxiety is through the roof. All right. Onward. We are passing through the Cuba. Yes. I will be back here in maybe 2 weeks. About 2 weeks is when I should be back in Cuba. Yeah, that's it already. Yeah. Can you hear that? We're near the Toltec Railway. We're just camped at Chama, doing the car camp night here before I start the big day tomorrow. Over there, across the river, back in those trees, it's going. This is really cool. And the weather is perfect. There's starting to be hints of yellow in the trees. This is gonna be good, guys. This is gonna be good. Tomorrow's the big day. Yeah. Hey there, and welcome back for another one. Whew. It's already late and warm. All right, today's the big day. I just started the trailhead at Cumbres Pass in Colorado. And we start today going south on the Continental Divide Trail, New Mexico portion. I'm nervous, anxiety filled, fear, excitement. Whew. I'm feeling everything. My anxiety is through the roof. It'll ease up as the day goes, I'm sure. First solo backpacking. First long distance. But it's beautiful. It's September 1st. We got beautiful weather, beautiful flowers, beautiful nature. Let's do it. Day 1, CDT, New Mexico. Okay, we are already now into the New Mexico portion. We've crossed the border from Colorado to New Mexico. Yes. Beautiful weather so far, a little warm in the sun, but honestly, this whole first section has been in and out of trees, in and out of trees. So it hasn't been too bad. Not full like in the sun constantly, which is nice. Just stopped for a snack break, water break, pee break. And we are just shy of halfway through my day today. We're only doing 10 miles today for the first day. Figure it was a good start. I should be ending at like a We don't really call it a lake, a pond. Who knows? I'll find out when I get there. It's either a really mini lake or it's a pond. But that's where I plan on ending on night 1 of the CDT New Mexico. We are just shy of halfway. Lots of birds. I already saw a mama deer and a baby deer. Oh, the baby was so cute. But yeah. We're refueled. Onward we go. Next major stop, hopefully camp. Okay, as you can tell, I had to bust out the hat. I have a big floopy hat to keep my face out of the sun and my ears and my neck from burning. I probably look a little ridiculous. We made it. First 10 miles down, I can hear cows in the distance. I can see cows in the distance. Luckily, where I've camped at, so there's a water source there. It's a creek right down the hill, which is great. And I'm right off a forest road. I'm a little closer to the road than I wanted to be. However, I want to make sure that I am near trees, uniform trees, because there is, it looks like, some clouds rolling in. I don't know if they'll hit me or if they'll bypass me. I really have no idea. But I need to be near trees for safety, for lightning. And then I also need trees for hanging bear bag stuff, because there are black bears out here. So I need to be able to hang the food bag, which requires trees. And yeah, so we went up the hill. Honestly, there's like nobody out here. It's a Sunday. I'm not worried. But yeah, we have made it to Camp 1. I'm just loving the birds and the cows. We're basically in an open cattle field area for the first night. Like I was saying when I got here. I got the tent set up. I got a Nemo Hornet Osmos 1 for this trip, for the CDT for me. I'm soloing it, so I only need one. It only weighs 1 pound. That is pretty nifty. Not like a ton of space. There's enough space for me, my gear, and a little bit of room. I thought about getting the 2-person one because when I was looking at it, the rain flag goes out more, and then I would have a little bit more space for myself. It only goes by 1 pound, but decided not to. Yeah. It only would have added 1 pound, but I figured try and go lighter than I already am. Because like I said, I started this morning with 60 pounds. A lot of food. A lot of consumables. That is counting with consumables. But I got my tent set up. A little bit of rain while I was setting it up. So, wasn't bad. Sprinkles. There are clouds that keep coming and going. I don't know what I'm going to get. I have no idea. But, I do know I'm hungry. And I'm not going to have a whole lot of energy. So I had to hop on dinner. Tonight's dinner, yes! Idahoan roasted garlic potatoes with Parmesan baby reds. It's easy. You boil some water, you throw them in there. 5 minutes later, you have instant mashed potatoes, lots of calories. And it's just easy and quick because I'm tired. I'm already feeling it. And I guarantee you after I eat it, I'm going to want to just crash. However, I can't just crash. One, I gotta hang the food bag, but I also have hot cocoa to get some extra calories and be warm. Some hot cocoa, yes, Swiss Miss. But before I go to bed tonight, I gotta deal with a blister. It's funny, these boots, I've got my Sabres. I've worn them for multiple trips. I've never had an issue. And I didn't feel a hot spot today. I felt fine. No different than I normally do. Took my boots off, took my sock off. Yeah. And there's blood in it too. It's a little toe on my left foot. When I go to take care of it, I might get a quick clip of it so you can see how bad it is. But we'll see. For now, though, food. Food! Okay, I ate my dinner, and before it gets dark, I'm gonna try and take care of this blister. I'm gonna show you guys the blister. Yeah, I got some blood in there. It looks worse than it actually is. Oh well. Today, beautiful day though. I can't tell if a cow's giving birth or having sex off in the distance. I really can't tell. It's gonna be an interesting night. But the wind died down again. Hoping it'll last, we'll see. But I am getting to enjoy a nice little cloudy sunset, but yeah. Gonna take care of this blister and hang the bear bag and go to bed. Yeah. Today, one New Mexico CDT was hard. Today was an interesting day. A lot of incline from Cumbres Pass going up, and the last 2 miles were down, which was nice. And then, didn't expect this much of an open area in my campground. So, for those of you who are 10 miles off of Cumbres Pass, there's water here. Just be prepared for open field. But, yeah. It's pretty. I feel accomplished. 10 miles down. Another 10 tomorrow. Yeah. See you guys in the morning. Good morning. Okay. It is day 2, CDT, New Mexico. I woke up a little rough. That cow, that was either, that cow was giving birth. And it tried to give birth through most of the night last night. So needless to say, I didn't get a whole lot of sleep listening to a cow. Yeah, that was rough. I also ripped a hole in my food bag while dropping out of the tree this morning. I'll have to patch that later. But yeah. The rain fly's still a little wet, so you see that's hanging out of the back. I'll find a sunspot in a bit. But it's time to start day 2. Yeah. I forgot which lake I am tonight. I'll look at it later. But yeah, 10 miles, another 10 miles. It is currently just before 9 a.m. and I'm starting. Just filled up from the stream. Yeah. Topped off the water, got a little bit of electrolytes because maybe I didn't have enough yesterday. My right leg just keeps trying to cramp on the inside of my thigh. Not fun. But yeah, time to get a move on. Yeah. I'm at my first gate. Look. Ooh. And there's a little CDT sign on the post. That way you know you're going through the right gate. A lot of the New Mexico portion. How do you undo this? I'll figure that out in a second. I have the camera in my hand. Weird. A lot of the I'm failing here. A lot of the New Mexico portion of the CDT goes through large open ranch cattle areas. So there are quite a few fences that divide their areas for grazing, and there's a lot of fences you have to go through. Please keep in mind that these are people's livelihoods. So as you go through these gates, make sure you close them behind you. Yes. But check this view out. It's pretty cool. Just a shot down the fence line. Alright, been at it for a couple hours now. Decided to stop for a break for some snacks and also to tend to blister and make sure to take preventative care for any future blisters because there was a hot spot starting on the other foot.
Not the little toe though, so that's good. So, took care of that. Ate some homemade chicken teriyaki jerky. Some cheese. Yeah. Mostly just nice to take a minute to take the pack off. I don't normally wear the pack for this many miles in a row. My right hip hurts. Oh well. But yeah. Good times. Got a little sidetracked a couple times. There's a couple spots where the trail, there's like little deviation paths, and it's really hard to figure out which one is actually the trail. I managed to get back on it, no problem. There weren't any markers in that spot, so that was a little surprising, because the CDT does have pretty good markers along the trail, but not there. Saw a couple bear tracks. That was cool. Going the opposite direction, so that works in my favor. Missed the bear. Not that I really want to find a bear, but it's cool to see the tracks. Yeah, lots of cow. Lots and lots of cow. Alright, time to keep moving. Alright, we are trucking. Oh, things hurt. We are now at the Cruces Basin Wilderness Overlook area. Yeah. And we are just a hop, skip, and a jump. It's probably like 3 miles. Maybe 4. Maybe 3. I don't know. To Lagunitas Lake. That is where we are camping out tonight. Not like right at the lake, but just outside the lake. So, because it's probably going to be busy with Labor Day weekend. Yeah. But to Lagunitas Lake, outskirts we go. Okay. Made it to campsite 2. I originally was going to stay up at the Lagunitas Lake, but I ran into a person and they were saying that there was quite a few people at the lake. So I just bypassed it. And so now I'm just south of it, which is fine with me. I've got like a pond over there and a nice stream. I got my tent set up in the trees. Well, there's some trees. Oh, not gonna lie though. Today kicked my ass. Today was harder than yesterday. Most of the trail was exposed. It was very hot, and there was no water sources between where I started my morning and where I ended my day. So, I'm tapped. I'm beat. I think I miscalculated how slow or fast I'd be moving, because it took me much longer today to get here than I thought it would. I might have to recalculate the map a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I just got used to it. I'm not used to it, so that's another thing too. I'm hurting. Tired. But at least it's pretty out here. There's no cows around. So I shouldn't be being kept awake by cows all night, so that'll be nice. But yeah, we are here. Here we are. I'm gonna make dinner, get into pajamas, try and do stretches with whatever energy I have left. Hang a bear bag after I patch my food bag. And yeah, call it a night, because I'm tapped. I'm tapped. Yeah. Tomorrow, day 3. So, this is day 3. CDT, New Mexico. I'm not feeling great. I know I mentioned yesterday there was a lot of heat and exposure. I kicked my ass. I think I kicked my ass harder than I thought I'd did. I think it was just a little bit too much heat. I might have gotten a little dehydrated, maybe. I don't know. I woke up this morning and I had to vomit. And then I figured, just gotta get going, start packing things up, try to eat breakfast. Vomited again. So I'm not doing great. I think I was overzealous with my planning. Originally for the first week, I was going to take a 0 day until day 7, which I know is probably ridiculous. I don't know why I planned it that way. For those of you who are not used to, or if you're new to long distance backpacking like I am, I mean, I've done backpacking for like 3-5 days at a time, but not this many miles consistently every day. And not alone either. You should maybe plan to give yourself more 0 days in between. Yeah. Not feeling great. I'm struggling to keep some water down. So, I feel like it's cheating, but I clearly need a 0 day. Where I was supposed to be tonight, I was supposed to hike out another 10 miles, but my 10-mile destination is kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Nowhere, anywhere, anyone can get to me or anything, so to be safe, in 2 nights, I would be at Hopewell Lake. Hopewell Lake is somewhere people can get to you. I feel really bad, but I had to ask John if he could come pick me up from Lagunitas Lake and take me to Hopewell Lake today. I'm not proud of that. Not proud of that at all. Sorry. Try not to cry so I don't dehydrate myself more. Double-edged sword. I know I shouldn't be crying. But I feel like a failure to myself. I don't know if this is gonna stay in the video or not, but everyone always keeps telling me how brave I am and how badass I am. I don't feel very badass. I'm only on day 3 of this trip, and I'm already sick, because I already messed up somehow with not drinking enough water, or the heat just got to me, I don't know. Yeah. But John's gonna come get me, and I feel like I'm cheating, but it's safer for me to be somewhere where people can get to me in case I get worse, which means not in the middle of nowhere. So he's taking me to Hopewell Lake, where I would have been in two nights, and I will continue from there after getting essentially 2 0 days. Today will be do my best to force myself to drink water to rehydrate and feel better so I don't keep vomiting, because if I keep vomiting, the problem with that is I won't keep water down, I won't keep food down, and those are kind of essential for backpacking. You gotta have energy and you gotta be hydrated, or else things can go downhill very quickly. So I'm disappointed in myself, but I also know that it is smarter and safer to do this. I feel bad asking him to come get me. But he said he doesn't mind, because he knew that things could happen. Hi, Chipmunk. Are you mad at me because I'm still here? I know, I'm sorry. So yeah. He's gonna come get me, and I'm gonna try and not throw up anymore. And, go to Hopewell Lake. I'll have today and tomorrow to rehydrate, refuel, and rest. You know, surprisingly, my body feels fine. My legs don't hurt that bad. My back doesn't really hurt. Like, I'm a little pack sore, but that's normal. So, I mean, physically, minus the hydration portion, I'm doing great. Just sad. So, yeah. I'm gonna rest for a couple more hours, since it's gonna take him a few hours to come get to me. And, we'll go to Hopewell Lake, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be feeling better and I can really refuel. I'm not eating as much food as I thought I would. Patrick, my friend Patrick, went and did the PCT. He told me that the first week you probably won't eat as much as you think you're gonna eat. You're gonna have to force yourself to eat, and he was right. I've maybe eaten half as much in 2 days as I thought I would, which isn't good. I mean, I need the fuel, so. He was right. I gotta get past that bump. I gotta get past week 1. My body should start to adjust, and I should get my appetite, and yeah. I'm not quitting. There's no way I'm quitting. I either gotta get injured, mauled by a bear, or something. I don't know. I'm not gonna quit. It does mean, though, that for my own consciousness, if I make it through this entire trip, I'm gonna have John drop me back off at Lagunitas Lake, and I will backpack the miles that I'm skipping today and tomorrow to make up for it. Is it out of order? Yes. But I will not feel right saying I did the New Mexico portion of the CDT unless I actually do those miles as well. And at least at the end of the trip, if I'm doing 20 miles a day, I can have him just drop me off at Lagunitas and potentially pick me up in the same day at Hopewell if I'm doing 20 miles a day. I hope. Yeah. I just gotta not throw up anymore, but I do need to drink more water. So yeah, that's what's happening. Day 3, CDT New Mexico. Yeah.
Okay, still day 3. John came and got me from Lagunitas Lake area, and I managed to stop vomiting, and I'm glad that I packed Pepto. Yeah, the dehydration was not amazing. But he came and got me, and he has taken me to Hopewell Lake, where I was supposed to be in 2 nights. But then this way, tomorrow, I can spend another day rehydrating, refueling, to be able to go. But yeah. So yes, I skipped that section. I can always go back and do it later. But we're trying to make sure I don't kill myself first with dehydration. And now, just 2 days on the trail, seeing how little food I'm eating. I overpacked on food. So we sat down and we trimmed weight. I cut probably about 5 pounds off my pack. So that should hopefully help me move a little faster too. And that'll be good. That'll be good for me. So, yeah. I'm pretty exhausted. Haven't eaten much today, but I have drank plenty of water, hopefully. Tomorrow is going to be another relaxation day and try to rehydrate. So, day 3, CDT, New Mexico. Such a great day. Hopefully tomorrow I'm feeling better. But yeah, this guy willing to come pick me up from one lake, take me to another lake. Yeah. Resupply teams and support teams are crucial, and it's nice when you have someone that can support you and you're on a trail that's only a few hours from your home. For emergencies like this, when your girlfriend gets dehydrated. Yeah. I'm gonna force myself to eat dinner now. He's gonna head back on home, and we'll see how tomorrow goes. So obviously, I didn't stay on the trail if I am filming this. After I filmed at camp where I was trying to eat dinner, we ran into some obstacles. We went to go over to the water spigot at Hopewell Lake in order to get some water so I could do the dishes after I finished eating my dinner, only to discover that that spigot wasn't running, which was weird, because on Gut Hook, it was supposed to have water. We ran into, at the time that I was doing this hike, it was September, and it is not September anymore, obviously. We ran into some hunters, and they were there for the hunting season. At the campground, there was a lady, and she had a pretty nice setup, so she had offered to give us water if I needed any, and we started talking to her to discover that, yeah, the well at Hopewell Lake apparently ran dry over a year ago. But for some reason on Gut Hook, when I was planning out my water sources for my trail, it didn't label it as empty and no longer running. So I didn't have a water source. And we started talking to her about the fact that I had gotten dehydrated on the trail because I didn't have water sources that I was supposed to have via the map and Gut Hook. New Mexico had gotten a phenomenal monsoon season, and that is part of why I didn't think water was going to be that big of an issue. I thought I would be good because we had a really good monsoon season. Monsoon season doesn't do any good if we had record highs, which we did that summer. It was, well, just this past summer, so. It was really, really hot, and so even though we got water, it simply evaporated. The heat was too much in even northern New Mexico to keep those water sources going. Talking to the wife of the hunters out there, she even was saying that this was the hardest year that they had, and they'd been out there for about 6 years in a row. And this was the worst summer that they had for water sources. She was having to do double trips to meet her husband out on forest roads and stuff to bring them water because water sources they had even the year before were dry this past summer. Without water, you can't survive. It's plain and simple. And that's actually part of the contributing factor as to why I had to unfortunately make the decision that night to leave the trail. I got service as well after talking to her and was able to go on to Gut Hook, and one of the actual complete thru hikers had actually gotten to New Mexico earlier than I thought they would. Typically the thru hikers don't hit New Mexico till October, so I didn't think I'd see anything update wise on Gut Hook until then. Well, it turns out a couple of them had made it to New Mexico around the time that I was starting my section and were on Gut Hook. Even they were struggling, and they were doing 20 to 30 miles a day. If I could do 20 to 30 miles a day at that point, I probably could have kept going and hit my water sources that were further apart. But since I was not trail legs or anything, I was only doing 10 miles a day, going at a much slower pace. Water sources that I had mapped out were being reported as dry. So for safety and health, we had to make the call to bring me home. It sucked. Sucked a lot. I had been planning and prepping this awesome adventure for months, saved up for months, prepped all this gear, had all these like resupplies mapped out, had a bunch of friends signed up to basically be my trail angels to meet me for resupplies. My family was excited for me, my friends were excited for me. So only getting a couple days in to then get sick and then have to leave the trail because the fact that there wasn't going to be water really sucked. You can plan and prep so many things for a through hike or a section hike or any backpacking trip, but there is still sometimes things that are out of your control, and the weather is one of them, unfortunately. We can't control all the water evaporated because it was so hot. I can't make the globe cooler as much as I'd like to. Well, I mean, I'm trying to make it cooler, but one person alone can't do it. Yay, global warming. And if you have an issue with the fact that global warming exists, don't even bother commenting. Just leave this channel now, because I'm not going to waste my time having a discussion with you in the comments to explain to you that global warming is real. It is in fact a thing that is affecting us. Very much so, and it's going to start affecting our thru hikers even more because of water sources and such. The thru hikers that were ahead of me doing 2030, I kept tabs on one of them. She was doing really solid. So many of the water sources that I had mapped out for collecting water for myself, I would have only gone in probably another week, and maybe after a few days probably would have had to get picked up again for getting sick again, because I would have been without water for a couple days in a row and it's certain parts of my plan. It's a bummer. After I came home, I fully am aware that I didn't fail. I am fully aware that there are things out of our control, and it's not like I can't go back. I can always go back. The trail's still there. I just gotta modify the plans. But I struggled for a good month after coming back from the trail with myself. I struggled with myself. My dad even reminded me that you didn't fail. The only way you fail is when you die. When you die, you can't go back and retry the trail. That's when you truly fail. So if you're alive, the trail is still there. You can always go back and reattempt it. It means you didn't fail. So I didn't fail. I didn't die. But in my brain, I felt like a failure for a good solid month. It was a rough month. As much as I knew that I shouldn't have been so hard on myself, I couldn't help it. And there are people who do put in a lot of work for through hikes and section hikes, and they go more than even a couple days, and something goes wrong. They get injured, or something goes wrong with their gear, or they run out of money. It is something that we struggle with. And I think we need to be a little bit nicer to ourselves. Of course, it's easier said than done. But we have to remind ourselves that the trails are there, at least for now. And as long as we are alive, we can go back and reattempt them. So that was something I learned, to be nicer to myself. It wasn't easy, but I'm better at it now than I was then. There were a few other things I learned, and I made notes because I couldn't keep track of everything. So bear with me. Yes, I have a notepad because I want to make sure I can remember everything I'm supposed to do and say. Things that I learned through trial and error with attempting my through hike section of the CDT New Mexico. First one, I packed way too much food. I have a really good appetite usually when I'm doing small backpacking trips, and I typically eat a good amount. So I was prepping my food to be similar to how I did that. However, that wasn't smart. It was not smart. My body was in some rough shape. I was tired, and a lot of people who do section hikes or through hikes do struggle with an appetite at first. I learned through talking to some of my other friends. It's usually after like 1 week on the trail that you finally start to get an appetite again, because your body's trying to adjust to everything that you're putting it through. So it kind of goes into a weird, not survival mode necessarily, although slightly survival mode. You don't burn as many calories at first because your body's thinking that you're trying to survive because you're carrying these packs and doing these miles or something. And it's not usually until about the second or like the next second week or third week that your metabolism will pick up and start using those extra calories, and you'll burn them super fast. And that's when you get that appetite. Or as some people describe it as the through hiker starvation. I don't know if I would fully call it that. I haven't hit it yet. I'll let you know when I get back to it. But I planned to have a normal appetite. So I packed a ton of food. Like in the video, I lightened up my food load and ended up like cutting 5 pounds off my pack just in food alone because I had overdone the food because I figured I'd need more. I also learned that I need to be nicer to myself as far as scheduling 0 days. I don't normally backpack back-to-back-to-back days doing 10 plus miles a day. I probably should have scheduled 0 days much sooner. My first 0 day wasn't scheduled until about 7 days into my trip. That was overzealous and optimistic for myself, and I now know that was a mistake. I should have done a couple days or planned for like a day 3 0 day, maybe a couple more days, another 0 day, because then I also could have planned resupply drops at those points, and I could have been carrying much less in consumable weight, and that would have helped me with going a little bit faster just in general because the pack weight. Like I said, my pack was about 60 pounds, and that was consumable weight and counted into it. Without consumable weight, my pack was more like 48, which actually is pretty good considering the camera equipment that I was carrying. That is my creature comfort is camera weight. So I probably could have made the beginning of my trail a little bit easier with planning extra 0 days and more drops at the beginning until I got a better idea for how I needed my body to work with me. So now I know. Be more gracious to yourself. Give yourself more leeway to play with 0 days and such so that you don't have to carry as much weight at the beginning and you might do a little bit better. Another thing I learned, and this is probably a unique thing to me because it really depends on people and how your body reacts to things. In the video, I got that awesome blister. I don't know how I got the blister. Those boots were comfortable and broken in, and I'd never had an issue with them before. So I'm not really 100% sure what happened still with that. I'm still messing around with my boots now because even after that, I went on some backpacking trips and I got blisters again. Like I said, I never used to ever get blisters, and I've had these boots before, and I'd already been wearing them on trips prior to this, and for some reason, I don't know. But I did not feel hot spots that first day. That's not good. If you don't feel a hot spot, you're not going to think to stop and check it. So I have now made it a new rule of thumb for myself, things to learn, that even if I don't feel a hot spot, at least halfway through my day, or at least when I stop for my lunch break, I stop, I take my boots and my socks off, and I check out my feet and let them air out while I'm eating my lunch instead of keeping them on now. This is to help me make sure I catch blisters before they get bad, because I don't always feel the hot spots now. Not sure why. Working on that. But for anyone else who's maybe going to be doing any through hiking, section hiking, or anything like that, any general backpacking, you know, you might not think you're going to get a blister, but it doesn't hurt to take a minute to take your shoe and sock off just to check. Because a blister really is uncomfortable if you keep hiking on it after the fact. So if you can avoid that uncomfortable bit, why not? A couple extra minutes to check your feet is not going to hurt anything. So I've now learned to do that. Now, things that I technically also learned is that I shouldn't trust water sources on the map. But what do you do when you can't trust a water source? That's tricky. My dad threw some ideas at me. He suggested that I perhaps get a chase vehicle. And honestly, I think I like that idea a lot more than just carrying extra weight of water just in case. So, what I have now planned is I'm going to save up to get myself a van. I've always wanted a travel van. So this is just an extra excuse to really do it. I'm gonna save up and get myself a travel van and deck it out, and I already have a couple of friends who have agreed to be my chase vehicle drivers. And since I can't control water sources of New Mexico, and since sadly every year it's getting hotter and hotter due to global warming, I have to keep in mind that water might not be there. And that might mean I need more trail legs before I hit New Mexico. So the new alternated plan, once I get the money saved up for the chase vehicle, I'm actually going to start in Colorado. My dad said that I should start in Colorado since there is much better water sources and reliable water sources in Colorado. And then that way, by the time I hit New Mexico, I have my trail legs and I can do 20 to 30 miles in a day, which means I can get to the further water points in between. As well as I will have a chase vehicle. So I've already, even though it's not gonna happen for a little while, I've already started mapping out where the forest roads intersect with the trail through New Mexico and even Colorado, so that I can figure out, okay, you're gonna meet me here while I'm hiking during the day, and I will get more water from you at this point, and then you will continue on, and I will continue on, and then we'll meet there at the end of the day, and you will have water for me. Yay! Plus, with the chase vehicle, it means that I don't have to carry as much of my consumables and or as much gear that I might need in case of weather. I can leave it in the travel van, and I can swap it out from day to day, which then allows my pack to be lighter, which means I can go faster. And if I can go faster, I can get to water sources quicker and easier. I would like to say that it's going to happen quickly, but I do not make a lot of money, and that's okay. In my brain, I prioritize being happy than making a bunch of money. So yes, there are jobs I can make more money quicker, but they don't make me happy, so not happening. So I'm okay with this long game of budgeting and saving. I'm still gonna be doing backpacking trips and stuff in between for you guys, so no worries there. But eventually, the goal is to re-save up, get the travel van, and attempt that. With the ever-warming globe trend, that means it might get much hotter by the time I get there. So definitely need a chase vehicle for water sources. But I'm also now wondering, the CDT, in the very southern part of New Mexico, they have water caches. So I don't know if anyone from the coalition is going to see this, or anybody who has any influence on things going on with the CDT trail stuff. But if you do, I'm just gonna say that I think it's time for us to consider water caches in the middle and the northern part of New Mexico section. Because clearly water is going to start becoming increasingly more difficult for us to achieve and find. And if we want people to successfully finish this trail and not die of dehydration, we might want to consider adding water caches throughout the entire state, since New Mexico is a warm desert that is getting warmer by the year. Yeah. Something to consider. If you work with Coalition, have any influence, maybe plant that seed, add some water caches in the northern and middle section of New Mexico to make the trail much more doable and survivable, please. Yeah. I'm sure that there's other stuff that I have forgotten. Things that I've changed since the trail. Although I really haven't changed much gear-wise. I like my gear. It works really well. And if I just didn't pack so much weight, my gear would be lighter for my pack. So we'll We're also going to eventually upgrade my ultralight gear and get myself lighter gear. So that's also going to be part of the saving of money game. So we'll see how long it takes. But we are going to reattempt it. It's going to happen. Absolutely. Hopefully sooner than later, and hopefully it's even an option considering things going on in our society right now. If you know, you know. If you don't, shame on you. You should be keeping tabs and updating yourself on everything going on in our government at the moment. That's all I'm going to say to that. So we'll see how well our through hikes last. I'm going to fight for them and do whatever I can to volunteer to help maintain things. And I hope that I get to reattempt it. I hope. I really, really hope so. But yeah. If you have any questions about anything else as far as what did I do for mapping it out, what software did I use, what apps were I using for my maps other than Guthook and Garmin, go ahead, shoot me a question in the comments below. If you have anything come up that you're curious about, by all means, ask away. And yeah. I am proud of myself for attempting it. Do I wish I could have finished it? Absolutely. I was so excited. So excited. But I'm proud of myself for attempting it. And like my dad said, I didn't fail because I didn't die. So we're going to go back and try again. If you liked the video, hit the like button. And if you aren't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button and follow along because there will be more adventures as always, I promise. And until the next one, you guys have a good one. Later.